If you own a Volkswagen and you've been taking it to the dealership for service, you need to watch this video right now because what I'm about to share could save you thousands of dollars. The service center scams that dealerships are pulling in 2026 have reached a whole new level, and they're specifically targeting VW owners who don't know any better. I've spent the last 3 months investigating reports from hundreds of Volkswagen owners across the country, and the patterns I've discovered are absolutely shocking. These aren't just innocent upsells or honest mistakes. These are deliberate schemes designed to extract maximum profit from unsuspecting customers. Today, I'm going to expose every single one of these scams, show you exactly how they work, and teach you how to protect yourself. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your VW service center the same way again. And that's a good thing because knowledge is your best defense against these predatory practices. Scam number 1, the carbon cleaning con. The first and perhaps most widespread scam right now is the carbon cleaning service, and dealerships are pushing this harder than ever in 2026. Here's how it works. You bring your VW in for a routine oil change or inspection, and the service advisor comes back with a concerned look on their face. They tell you that your engine has excessive carbon buildup on the intake valves, and that if you don't get it cleaned immediately, you're going to have serious performance problems, failed emissions tests, and potentially catastrophic engine damage. They'll quote you anywhere from $400 to $800 for this service, and they'll make it sound absolutely urgent. Now here's the truth. Yes, direct injection engines like those in many VWs do develop carbon buildup over time, but it's a gradual process that happens over tens of thousands of miles. Unless your car has well over 100,000 miles, or you're actually experiencing symptoms like rough idle, misfires, or significant power loss, you probably don't need this service at all. The dealership knows that most customers have no idea what carbon buildup looks like or how it affects performance, so they're recommending this service to virtually everyone who comes through the door. What makes this scam particularly insidious is that they often can't even show you the carbon buildup because it requires removing the intake manifold to see it. But they'll act like they've somehow diagnosed it through their inspection. The reality is they're just following a script based on your mileage, not actual evidence of a problem. If a service advisor recommends carbon cleaning, ask them to show you the specific symptoms your car is exhibiting. Request documentation of the buildup and get a second opinion from an independent shop that specializes in VWs. Most of the time, you'll find that the independent shop either sees no issue or quotes you half the price for the same service. Scam number 2, the transmission flush trap. The second major scam involves transmission services, and this one is particularly dangerous because it can actually damage your car. VW dealerships are now recommending transmission flushes or fluid exchanges at increasingly frequent intervals, often claiming that your transmission fluid needs to be changed every 30 or 40,000 miles. They'll tell you that the fluid has broken down, that it's contaminated, or that failure to change it will void your warranty. Here's what they're not telling you. Most modern VW transmissions, especially the DSG dual clutch units, have very specific service requirements that are clearly outlined in your owner's manual. Many VW automatics are designed with lifetime fluid that doesn't need changing under normal conditions, and when service is required, it's usually not until 60,000 miles or more. What makes this scam even worse is that dealerships are performing full transmission flushes using machines that force new fluid through the system at high pressure. This technique can actually dislodge particles and debris that were settled harmlessly in the transmission pan, sending them through your valve body and potentially causing shifting problems that didn't exist before. The proper service for most VW transmissions is a drain and fill, not a flush, and it should only be done at the intervals specified by Volkswagen. When a dealership recommends early transmission service, pull out your owner's manual right there in the service department and ask them to show you where Volkswagen recommends this service at your current mileage. You'll often find that they can't because VW doesn't recommend it. They're just trying to sell you an expensive service you don't need, and they might actually harm your transmission in the process. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Scam number 3, the DSG service scam. The third scam is specifically related to DSG transmission service, and it's become one of the biggest money makers for VW dealerships in 2026. The DSG dual-clutch transmission does require periodic service, typically every 40,000 miles according to Volkswagen, and this involves changing the transmission fluid and filter. This is a legitimate service that costs somewhere between $300 and $500 when done properly. However, Dealerships have started adding all sorts of unnecessary extras to this service and billing customers for things that simply aren't needed. They'll recommend DSG clutch adaptations, which they claim will improve shift quality and extend clutch life, charging an additional $100 to $200. They'll suggest transmission software updates that supposedly fix shifting issues, adding another $100 or more. They'll even recommend replacing the mechatronic unit preemptively, which can cost thousands of dollars. The truth is that the basic DSG service is all you need unless you're experiencing actual problems. The clutch adaptation is something the transmission does automatically during normal driving, and forcing it through the diagnostic system doesn't provide any real benefit. The software updates should be free if there's actually a technical service bulletin requiring them, not an extra charge. And replacing the mechatronic unit when nothing is wrong is like replacing your engine because it might fail someday. When you're quoted for DSG service, ask for an itemized breakdown of every charge, cross-reference it with the official VW service schedule, and refuse any additions that aren't specifically required by the manufacturer. The basic service is all you need, and anything beyond that is likely just padding the bill. Scam number 4. The brake fluid exchange racket. The fourth scam involves brake fluid service, and dealerships have turned this routine maintenance into a cash cow through fear tactics and misinformation. Brake fluid does need to be changed periodically because it absorbs moisture over time, which can reduce braking performance and cause corrosion in the brake system. Volkswagen typically recommends brake fluid changes every 2 to 3 years, regardless of mileage. And this is a legitimate service that should cost between $80 and $150. However, dealerships are now using moisture testing strips or electronic testers to prove that your brake fluid is contaminated, and they're recommending this service far more frequently than necessary. The scam works like this. They'll test your brake fluid and show you that it contains 3 or 4% moisture, claiming this is dangerous and needs immediate attention. What they don't tell you is that brake fluid can safely contain up to 3.5% moisture before it actually affects performance, and that their testing method might not even be accurate. They'll also often quote prices of $300 or more for this service, claiming they use special VW-approved fluid or a particular flushing procedure that justifies the premium price. The reality is that brake fluid is brake fluid as long as it meets the DOT specification required by your VW. And the service itself is straightforward and shouldn't cost a fortune. When a dealership recommends brake fluid service, ask them what the actual moisture percentage is, verify that it exceeds VW specifications, and get quotes from independent shops for comparison. You'll often find that the independent shop will do the same service for half the price using perfectly acceptable fluid. Scam number 5. The engine air filter markup. The fifth scam is almost comically simple, but incredibly effective because of how ordinary it seems. During your routine service, the technician will check your engine air filter, and the service advisor will come back telling you it's dirty and needs replacement. They'll show you the filter, which will indeed look somewhat dirty because all air filters do after a few thousand miles, and they'll recommend immediate replacement for $40 to $80. Here's the scam. Engine air filters are designed to trap dirt, so a slightly dirty filter is actually working properly. Unless the filter is severely clogged with leaves, debris, or falling apart, it doesn't need replacement. Most engine air filters are good for 30,000 miles or more under normal conditions. Yet dealerships are recommending replacement at every service interval. What makes this particularly egregious is that the filter they're selling you for $60 is the exact same filter you can buy at any auto parts store for $15 to $20, and it takes literally 2 minutes to replace yourself without any tools. The dealership is marking up a $15 part by 300 or 400% and charging you labor for a job that requires no mechanical skill whatsoever. When they show you a dirty air filter, ask them if it's actually restricting airflow or if it's just cosmetically dirty. Ask to see the comparison against a new filter. Better yet, learn how to check and replace your own air filter, which is so easy that if you can open your hood, you can do this job yourself. Scam number 6. The cabin filter con. The sixth scam is nearly identical to the air filter, but involves your cabin air filter. which cleans the air coming into your car's interior. The playbook is exactly the same. They'll tell you it's dirty, show you some dust or debris on it, and recommend immediate replacement for another $40 to $80. The cabin filter scam is even more brazen because cabin filters are literally designed to catch dust, pollen, and debris. So, of course, they look dirty after some use. Just like the engine air filter, cabin filters are good for 15,000 to 30,000 miles under normal conditions, yet dealerships recommend replacement at almost every service. The markup is equally outrageous, with dealerships charging $60 or more for a filter that costs $12 to $20 at retail and takes about 3 minutes to replace. Most cabin filters are accessible behind the glove box and require no tools at all to change. This is the definition of a scam, taking advantage of customer ignorance to sell an extremely simple service at an inflated price far more frequently than necessary. The solution is simple. Check your owner's manual for the actual replacement interval. Learn where your cabin filter is located and either replace it yourself or have an independent shop do it for a fraction of the dealer price. Don't let them guilt you into thinking you're breathing contaminated air just because your filter has done its job and collected some dust. Scam number 7, the nitrogen tire fill scheme. The 7th scam is the nitrogen tire fill service, and it's pure theater designed to separate you from your money. The pitch goes like this. Regular air contains moisture and oxygen, which can cause pressure fluctuations and corrosion in your wheels. Nitrogen is a dry, inert gas that maintains more consistent pressure and extends tire life. For just $60 to $120, they'll drain your tires and fill them with pure nitrogen, often putting special green valve caps on to show that you've got the premium gas in your tires. This sounds scientific and beneficial, but here's the reality. The air we breathe is already 78% nitrogen. The supposed benefits of filling your tires with pure nitrogen are so minimal that they're essentially unmeasurable in normal driving conditions. Race teams and aircraft use nitrogen because they're operating in extreme conditions where every tiny advantage matters, but your VW commuting to work doesn't need it. The pressure stability difference between air and nitrogen is negligible, and modern tire pressure monitoring systems make it easy to check and adjust pressure regardless of what gas you're using. The truth is that properly maintained tires filled with regular air will perform exactly the same as nitrogen-filled tires for normal drivers. This service is nothing more than a high-margin upsell that provides no real benefit. When they offer nitrogen, politely decline and use the money you saved to actually check your tire pressure regularly, which is what actually matters. Scam number 8, the diagnostic fee, double dip. The 8th scam involves diagnostic fees, and this one is particularly sneaky because it seems legitimate on the surface. Your check engine light comes on, you bring your VW to the dealership, and they tell you there's a diagnostic fee of $100 to $150 just to plug in their computer and figure out what's wrong. You agree because you need to know what the problem is, and they come back with a diagnosis and a repair quote. Here's where the scam happens. You agree to the repair, they fix the problem, and when you get your final bill, you notice that diagnostic fee is still there as a separate line item on top of the repair cost. When you question it, they'll say the diagnostic fee is separate from the repair, even though the diagnosis was necessary to perform the repair. This is the double dip, charging you to find the problem and then charging you again to fix it. The honest way to handle diagnostics is to either waive the diagnostic fee if you proceed with the repair or apply it as a credit toward the repair cost. After all, the diagnosis has no value to you if you're not getting the repair done there. Many independent shops operate this way, offering free diagnostics if you do the repair with them. The dealership is essentially charging you twice for the same visit, padding their profit while hiding behind the technicality that diagnosis and repair are separate services. Before authorizing any diagnostic work, ask explicitly whether the fee will be waived or credited if you approve the recommended repairs. Get this confirmed in writing if possible, and if they refuse to credit the diagnostic fee, consider taking your business elsewhere. How to protect yourself. Protecting yourself from these dealership scams requires knowledge, assertiveness, and a willingness to ask questions. First and foremost, know your owner's manual. This book contains the official Volkswagen maintenance schedule and it's your strongest weapon against unnecessary services. When a service advisor recommends something, you can pull out your manual and verify whether VW actually requires it at your mileage. Second, never authorize repairs or services on the spot without doing research. Tell them you need to think about it, go home, and verify the information through independent sources. Third, get second opinions from independent VW specialists, who typically have less incentive to upsell unnecessary services. Fourth, learn to do basic maintenance yourself, like air filter replacements and tire pressure checks, which eliminates some of the most common scam opportunities. Finally, don't be afraid to push back and ask detailed questions. Ask them to show you the problem, explain why it's necessary, and justify their pricing. Honest service advisors will welcome these questions, while scammers will get defensive or evasive. The bottom line: the Volkswagen Service Center scams of 2026 are more sophisticated and aggressive than ever before, but now you're armed with the knowledge to fight back. The carbon cleaning con preys on fear of invisible engine damage. The transmission flush trap can actually harm your car while emptying your wallet. The DSG service scam piles unnecessary extras onto legitimate maintenance. The brake fluid racket uses fake urgency and inflated prices. The air filter markups turn $15 parts into $60 services. The cabin filter con is the same scam targeting a different filter. The nitrogen tire fill scheme sells you benefits you'll never experience. And the diagnostic fee double dip charges you twice for the same visit. Every single one of these scams is avoidable if you know what to look for and you're willing to question the recommendations. Remember, you're the customer, you're paying the bill, and you have every right to understand exactly what you're being charged for and why. Don't let dealerships intimidate you with technical jargon or pressure you with false urgency. Take your time, do your research, and never be afraid to say no. Your Volkswagen deserves proper maintenance, but you deserve honest service at fair prices, and now you know how to tell the difference.